Hello and welcome to all of you football extremers. Welcome to the latest installment of Football Extreme. This is the Extreme team. Myself, Kwabena, Nene, and DJ. Say hello to the world, gentlemen.
Hello, everyone. This is the Extreme team once again.
Yes.
And we're bringing you some fresh content on Football Extreme.
Yes, definitely. Nene, how you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. Welcome, guys, to another show. It's going to be an interesting topic that we have in store for you guys. So hopefully you enjoy it. Subscribe to our show. Subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and yeah, we only can grow from here, guys.
Definitely, yes. And while we're talking about only growing from here, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today on our show. We're talking about the youngsters in the Premier League that are making a big splash. The likes of Harvey Barnes, even though he's probably the oldest in the group, he's 23, but this is probably only his second season in the Premier League. Harvey Barnes, Phil Foden, Curtis Jones, Bukayo Saka, and Mason Greenwood. Just those ones that we're going to focus on. And then, let's talk about these young boys. Harvey Barnes at Leicester City, 23 years of age, 23 appearances, 8 goals, 3 assists so far in the Premier League. DJ, what's your thoughts on Harvey Barnes' impact on Leicester City's performance this season?
His performance this season has been great. He stepped up big time. Scoring wonderful goals for them. One of the first names on the team sheet, and yeah, his goals have been crucial because they've been winning the tight games for Leicester City. And if it's not James Henderson, Harvey Barnes is gonna pull off something special. And you saw that Damari Gray left in the previous transfer window and went to Germany. And part of that is because he couldn't get into the team because of Harvey Barnes. So big ups to the guy. We see you here in Football Extreme. We see you, dog.
Yeah, we see you. We see you putting his name up there on the internet. You heard it here first on Football Extreme.
Yeah, he's doing big. He's doing big things. We see you. We see you on Football Extreme. Keep doing you, boy.
Nene, what's your thoughts on Harvey Barnes? Like, what is in his place in the Leicester team? The guys are in second spot. He's been scoring some goals. He was one of the guys that put his foot on Liverpool's throats this weekend in the 3-1 win. So, yeah, it's hard to say for me, but yeah, Harvey Barnes is one of them boys who's one of those who just ripped our hearts out. So, Nene, what's your thoughts on Harvey Barnes' performances?
Yeah, man, I think as DJ said, it's been a breakthrough season for him. He's also seeing more regular game time, which is also good. But also the players that are around him, Tielemans, they've also stepped up the game. Madison as well, they've stepped up the game. If you watch some of the interviews, when Madison talks about Leicester, the guys are just oozing with confidence, and I think that's rubbing off on the young man. And his goals have helped the team a lot. Not relying too much on Jamie Vardy. When Jamie Vardy is out, the team looks to him and Tielemans and Madison for goals. And those 3 guys have delivered. So to mention the young guy, even Madison is also young, but obviously, Barnes is the guy that we're talking about at the moment. And I think it's good for him to be mentioned in the same sentence, along Madison. So the fact that he's contributing with goals on midfield, I think is really impressive. And so he's also knocking on that England squad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, since you brought it up, the England squad, what is his chances of making Gareth Southgate's Euro squad in June?
It stands a good chance. He's having a great season. He's contributing to Leicester's push for the top spots. So He faces a lot of competition, though. He might make the squad. I'm not sure about starting. I mean, the likes of Jadon Sancho are there, Raheem Sterling, just to mention a few. But I think he deserves a place based on what he's produced this season.
Yeah. Nene, what's your thoughts on Barnes' chances for making Euro?
Yeah, look, I think it will be unfair or unexpected if he doesn't get called up into the England squad. He's playing regularly. He's getting the minutes. The team is performing around him. You know, what else does he need to do? You've mentioned the goals that he scored already this season from midfield, which is quite good. He's close to 10 goals already. And for a midfield player, if you can hit 10 goals in the season, it's actually quite good.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's ticking the boxes at the right age, and I think he does deserve a spot in the team. Definitely. So I think he'll be there.
Okay. Yeah, and we have been talking about Leicester City being, or people probably having the perception that Leicester City is the one horse team in terms of laying everything on Jamie Vardy's shoulders. So it's been a good, actually just a nice change, a breath of fresh air to just see that Harvey Barnes, Madison, they're carrying the load in that respect. So how many goals do you see?
Also, Justin, until he's recently been injured.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Chilwell left for Chelsea, but it hasn't affected them, and that's because Justin is there as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Brendan Rodgers for giving the youngsters a chance. And
definitely. And not only relying on the old heads. So another one who's making a splash is Man City's Phil Foden. Personally, my favorite in the group. Phil Foden, 20 years old, 18 games this season, 5 goals, 3 assists. Sometimes plays as a number 10, sometimes plays on the left or the right, and he's played one game as a false 9. So he's very versatile in the midfield and on the front line, anywhere in attacking positions. So DJ, what's your thoughts on Phil Foden's progress in the last 2 seasons or season and a half?
Good. I mean, David Silva left. He took his chance, and you can see with Kevin De Bruyne as well. It's hard to notice that he's not playing because Phil Foden is there and he's bringing the goods to the team and he's performing. So that's good. I mean, it's a breath of fresh air. It's always nice for a team to have up and coming youngster from the academy in the team playing week in, week out. The fans, fine, they are not at the stands, but they are happy to have one of their own in the team playing and performing as well, not just being another player or another number in the team, but playing regularly in the team as well. So
yeah,
big up to Pep Guardiola for giving him his chance, and he's grabbed it with both hands. And I want to see when Kevin De Bruyne comes back in the team, what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Nene, what's your thoughts on Phil Foden? It seems like Pep is getting some of the kudos in terms of just succession planning with regards to David Silva leaving and just blooding Phil Foden in. What's your thoughts on how his progress has been managed?
Yeah, it's quite funny. If you actually watched a post-match interview where Pep was asked about Phil Foden. Last season, he only played 5 games the entire season. This season, he's played 18. And I think the season before was even far less. So then Pep's response was, back then he was receiving criticism for not allowing Foden to play many games. And then now all of a sudden when he's playing, he's receiving praises that he's playing. So according to Pep, this is part of the developments that the player, on the development journey that the player is on. He did say that he has a lot to learn, especially in terms of positioning, still has a lot to learn. So he's not the finished product yet. But I think he's improved a lot, mainly because of the players that are around him in the team. Your Sterling, De Bruyne, you know, Gundogan, Mahrez, and the list goes on and on of hot midfield players. So as someone who's 20 years old, when you walk into the change room and you see all these guys, you're surrounded by all these players in the training room. I mean, in the training grounds. I mean, it's amazing. That can only uplift your game. So yeah, I think it's mainly down to the players that are around him that have actually pushed him to excel. He grabbed his opportunities, and as you said, he's part of succession planning. So there's literally no pressure on him. He can have a good game, it's okay. He can have a brilliant game, brilliant. He's on course.
Yeah.
So either way, he wins. And that's a positive from this whole thing. That this guy is on a journey, as Pep said. So it doesn't really matter how he performs at the moment, as long as he's improving game by game.
Yeah.
So yeah, for him, he's good. He's also probably going to be knocking on the Euro squad, and I also don't think that it's going to start, but probably there might be a possibility that he'll be part of the team, but not part of the starting 11.
Okay. Yeah. DJ, what's your thoughts on his chances in the Euro, making the Euro squad?
Interesting. I wouldn't want to be Gareth Southgate having to make that decision. I mean, you have Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, James Maddison. Ross Barkley has improved this season and breath of fresh air. So, yeah, to be interesting to see. But Phil Foden, I mean, he's playing for the team that's on course to win the league title. So he has to be there in the England squad at the Euros. Not saying he starts every game or be one of the first names, but he has to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now moving on to another youngster making a splash, probably in the last year and a half. You probably won't think so considering his team's current performance, but Curtis Jones at Liverpool has stepped up, probably playing more minutes than he probably would have thought in the beginning of the season. But last season when they won the league, he was there getting minutes when other guys needed a rest. And when the rotation was happening with the youngsters, Curtis Jones is the one leading the youngsters. So 20-year-old, having played 17 games and has 1 assist. But at the same time, when he plays with the guys his age, playing in the FA Cup, he's the one leading the line. So Nene, what's your thoughts on Curtis Jones' development so far?
Yeah, Curtis Jones. I think it's unfortunate that his breakthrough season is when Liverpool is going through a dip in form, and I think it's just overshadowed his potential in the team. As you said, there's makeshift defenders. You've got a makeshift midfield. He's also coming into a team with a lot of players playing out of position. So yeah, for him it's been a tough season, but I mean, irrespective of that, he still managed to get so many games under his belt. So yeah, look, definitely is on course for development. When it comes to Liverpool and Klopp and youngsters, this is the one that I'm going to pay particular attention to because I think the only closest youngster that I've seen that's developed through Klopp is Trent. But majority of the young players in the Liverpool squad, they struggle to get into the Liverpool team. Klopp doesn't believe in rotation and giving youngsters a chance. So the fact that there's one youngster that has broken through, in addition to Trent, is very positive. And I just wish that he should have broken to the team you know, when Liverpool was not in this position, just to see, you know, the impact. And when you look at Phil Foden on the other side, he's got no pressure. He's 20 years old. He comes into the team, they win. It's fine. He scores a goal. It's okay. If he doesn't score a goal, it's fine. There's no pressure. You look at Jones on the other hand, the players are out. He's in the team. He has to perform. If he has a bad game, everyone can see it. So there's definitely more pressure on him compared to Phil Foden. So, and this pressure is only going to make him improve his game even better, especially going into next season. So yeah, big ups to him. Keep it up. And yeah, he must just soak in the pressure, and it'll reward him later on.
Yeah. DJ, your thoughts
Yeah.
in terms of the pressure that Curtis Jones is experiencing? The one thing that Phil Foden and Curtis Jones have in terms of advantage over the other guys is that they're in teams with championship experience now. In the last 2 years, City and Liverpool have been winning trophies. So that experience of the older players and just in terms of how they are grooming the youngsters will be able to just get something out of that. So what's your feelings in terms of Curtis Jones' growth and his potential moving forward?
Well, he has huge potential and he's improving game by game, which is good for him. So in the last game against Leicester City, he was picked ahead of Thiago. That says a huge statement that I'm going to pick a youngster over the summer signing. That's a message in itself by Jurgen Klopp to say that I have trust in you, I have confidence in you. I'm picking you ahead of Thiago, and fine, the results went against them, but he didn't put a foot wrong. I mean, he was there, getting stuck in, getting close to the action, not shying away. So, yeah, it's good for him. It's good for his development. The unfortunate part is that he's getting more minutes now when Liverpool are in a rut. But yeah, that's only build his character and make him a better player for the future.
Yeah. Now it looks like he's probably more towards the back of the queue in terms of prospects for Euro. But do you think that that Gareth Southgate is looking at him? Nene?
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's too early for him, and that midfield, the position he plays, there's too much competition there. And if he was a regular at Liverpool, I would say, yeah, he has a chance. But Jordan Henderson is the captain of Liverpool, so there's no way that he's going to get left behind or Jones get picked ahead of the likes of Jordan Henderson's. So, yeah, player for the future.
Okay. Nene, let's move swiftly ahead to one of your young boys, Bukayo Saka, Arsenal player. Looks like he's the one who's making things happen there at Arsenal these days, scoring the goals. 19 years old, 21 games played this season, 5 goals, 2 assists. What's your opinion on Saka's development this season?
Saka, man, he's developed into a regular starter into the team. That should tell you that, you know what, you don't really look at him as a youngster anymore. I think when Unai was the head coach at Arsenal and we had challenges at left back, he brought him in to play left back. That was the time, I think he was 17. And, you know, he was just too good. He was just too good, and season after season, he's just been getting better and better. Last season was a good season. This season and last season also, he was playing too far back. So this season he's getting his opportunities at playing across the front three, and he's delivering the goods. He's still a youngster, but you know, at Arsenal, it's very different compared to Liverpool, where the youngsters at Liverpool, as you said, you're talking about Curtis Jones and probably Trent as the most recent young players to break into the squad. With Arsenal, there's a lot of rotation that takes place. So there's a lot of youngsters that get an opportunity to shine. And obviously it's up to them to take their opportunity. So there's a lot of youngsters that have actually been given the chance. Your Niles, your Joe Willock, those guys, they're out on loan now. Matteo Guendouzi, they're all on loan. So those guys were all given an opportunity and they never stepped up to the plate. And now you've got Bukayo Saka, who grabbed every opportunity that came his way, and now his name is first on the team sheet. So definitely his development is good. All the coaches that have coached Arsenal have ensured that they continue his development, and Arteta has done the same thing. He's got enough game time. He gets enough rest. He's getting there. He's getting there, and definitely he's going to be in the Euro squad. I mean, Bukayo Saka, for me, he'd probably be one of the nominations for the young player of the season. I mean, that's how good he's been. And just like Jones, unfortunately, the team is playing horrible at the moment, and that just overshadows what he brings to the table. So if we're a bit higher up in the table, maybe 7th or 6th, maybe he'll be getting more praise. But at the moment, it's like most of his work is just going unnoticed because we're sitting in 10th position. But apart from that, he's good. He's definitely in the Euro squad. Definitely.
Okay. All right. DJ, we're going to move swiftly along to Man United's young gun, Mason Greenwood. So what do you think about him? 19-year-old. He's played in 18 matches so far, 1 goal and 1 assist. How has Mason Greenwood's developments caught the eye?
Well, Greenwood, his third season now is playing there. I mean, ever since that historic comeback at Paris, he was one of the substitutions that Ole made that night, and they paid off. Came into a team last season, scored some goals, and he even got picked ahead of Daniel James, which says something huge. Ole trusts the guy, and he's played regularly. I mean, he's been called to the England setup before when him and Phil Foden were sent home for breaking the protocols, but what a talent. I mean, left foot, right foot. He's being compared to Robin van Persie, the way his feet can strike the ball. So that's a huge compliment. And yeah, he's a great talent. I mean, always smiling, willing to learn. I mean, when you watch him talk about how much he's learned from Cavani, and praising a guy like Cavani's experience and always being there to offer him advice. Let's just hope that he heeds that advice and he pushes on from here. I mean, I'm expecting more from him. He was given the number 11 jersey, which was previously worn by Ryan Giggs at Man United. So that's huge. And yeah, let's see what the boy can do. What a talent.
Yeah. Nene, what do you think his potential is in terms of just going up the ranks in the Man United squad? At the moment, he's still mostly making substitute appearances, but it's probably a bit 50-50 between substitute appearances and starts. What do you think his ceiling is in terms of how far he can go in this team?
I think he's definitely one for the future. I think he'd actually want to, set his place into the team so that he can be on the team sheet week in, week out. I think that will be his ceiling. Play alongside Paul Pogba more often, as he said, Cavani. If he can spend more time on the field, alongside the likes of Bruno Fernandes. I think that can only help his development even further. I mean, Bruno Fernandes is just a breath of fresh air. And we talk about Phil Foden being surrounded by all these players. And this guy also, it's the same thing. There's Pogba there, you've got Maguire there, you've got Fred, you've got Enti Martial, you've got Rashford. So the more he can play, with those guys, the more he can up his game. So I think for him, his ceiling would be he has to register a starting position in Man United and build from there. But if he's still going to be missing 2-3 games, playing cup games, then it's going to be difficult for him to register his name. So for him, he has to become part of the starting 11, and then he can pull from there.
Okay, yeah. And DJ, as we're hearing about Nene saying that building and breaking into the starting 11, as I said, that just like Arsenal, there's a lot of rotation that happens at United. In terms of that, in terms of the other youngsters in the Man United squad, how much does that fuel Greenwood, that you think that in this team, there's a lot of guys my age that are in the starting lineup week in, week out, and there's a lot of competition amongst them there. So where does Greenwood sit in the pecking order?
High up. I mean, at one point he was starting, you can see Towns, also Mensah was sold, Jesse Lingard went out on loan, Mason Greenwood is still at United. I mean, he's another local boy, and one of the first guys that the manager turns to whenever he needs a goal or he needs some creativity in the team. And he's looked at a player like Rashford. I mean, also came up in the team just last week. He made his 250th appearance, and I'm sure he's inspired by that as well. That, hey, he did it. I'm also in line to do it as well. I just need to break into this team, score more goals, and be a regular for Man United. And why not? I mean, they've trusted me with the number 11 jersey, and yeah.
Okay.
But it's mostly down to how much effort and work he puts into it as well, because you need to show the manager that you deserve to be in the starting lineup. You're hungry for it, you're willing to work for it, and once you get in, you want to work even harder to keep it.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we've been talking about these guys now, I don't think Gareth Southgate is going to be able to fit all 5 of these guys into a squad for Euro in June. But let's see who's got the biggest chances. Like if you were to place them in order. So we have Harvey Barnes, Phil Foden, Curtis Jones, Bukayo Saka, Mason Greenwood. Which order, Nene, would you place them in terms of the person most likely to get into the squad to the guy most least likely to get into the squad?
For me, it's obvious, Brut. Bukayo Saka is on top of the pecking order. He's been too influential for the Arsenal team and for the whole world to see. It's just unfortunate that the team is in the position that they're in. So definitely Saka is on top. Then I think in terms of minutes played, you'll have to say Harvey Barnes could be in the team. McTominay could be in the team, but I highly doubt that Curtis Jones would fit into the Southgate squad. So yeah, for me it's Saka, Barnes, Foden. As Bonga said, he'll probably fit in there because Man City is going to win the league. But for me also, I still think that from 5 games the previous season to so many games this season, for me, it doesn't really warrant a place in the Euro squad. Even if it does go, he's not going to start anyway. Whereas if I look at Saka, he's got a chance at actually starting. So for me, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tough one for the other guys. But yeah, that's my order. Saka, definitely, he's going to be top of mind for me. Then the other guys, you know what, it's a wild card pick for me. Really, those guys, even if they make it, they're not going to be in the starting 11. So, yeah.
Yeah. DJ, what's your order?
Yeah.
Barnes, Foden, Jones, Saka, Greenwood. What order would you put them in terms of making the England squad?
Phil Foden, of course, top of that list. Harvey Barnes, Mason Greenwood, of course, he's been there. He hasn't got his chance yet, so yeah. The least likely I'll say is Curtis Jones because there's just too much competition there.
Yeah.
He's on for the future though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad we see things a little bit on a different side between the three of us because I'm very high on Phil Foden. He's my favorite. But when I look at it, just looking at the stats, but also Harvey Barnes is probably not considered much of a youngster. He is 23. But I think in terms of Premier League time he's had, I think this is only his second or third season in the Premier League. So in terms of experience, he's probably in that same category. But he is older than the rest of the guys. He's like 3 years older than all of them. But yeah, I think I'd say Phil Foden is my first. Harvey Barnes would be second. And most likely Greenwood would be third in terms of the fact that the Man United hype machine knows how to get young players exposure. And as you're saying, Nene, Bukayo Saka's in 11th spot in the league or 10th spot in the league. He's probably going to not get the spot. So Saka and Curtis Jones will probably most likely miss out. But yeah, I'd say between Foden and Barnes, but I'm not sure even both of them make the squad. I think, or maybe Barnes and Foden both make the squad and the other three not. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, these guys, if they make the squad, it's a different situation. They need to play.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of it's tough for the guys. But for me, I'll always say Saka all right because it's not his first season, you know. He's had a season under Unai, and he's had the last season against Arteta and this season. So it's actually his third season since his breakthrough season in the Premier League. So compared to the other guys, for me, he's definitely got more legs, more minutes. Yes, the team is shit where it's sitting, but when I compare him pound for pound to the other guys, hey, that guy is too good, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Phil Foden, I'm sorry, he's nowhere near Bukayo Saka. Maybe because he's surrounded by players who are just on another level. But if I'm comparing apples and apples, Bukayo Saka is ahead of all these guys we've just spoken about. Sorry, gents.
No stress, no stress. No, there's no problems with having debates on this show. Definitely. So long as you're talking football.
Just to add to that, all I'm saying is Greenwood started when Ole, in one of Ole's first games in charge, and that's how many seasons ago now.
Yeah.
And what I also like about him is also versatile. Not only can he play out wide, but he can also play as a striker.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well,
listen,
on the wrong side of 30, I mean, they are injury prone now, so you never know what could happen at the Euros. But the guy needs to get in there as quick as possible, and he needs to stake his claim in the team as well.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why for me, just last comments, as you said, your friend there has been there since Ole started, but he still hasn't pinned down a regular starting lineup. Bukayo Saka, first name on the score sheet, and that's the progress, and we'll leave it there.
Yeah, let's leave it there. Football Xstream.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are showing your allegiances to your team.
I'm looking at the Arsenal squad. I mean, you guys has go get a bench warmer from Real Madrid, and he's in the starting lineup now. So
I know.
please, really.
That's fine. We'll continue this debate on other episodes. Football Extremers, let us know in the comments who you think will be one of the best young players in the Premier League this season, and who you think will be making Gareth Southgate's England squad. So that's all from us, and we'd love to see you soon in our future episodes. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all our content. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Peace.